pleasant day, everyone. Welcome once again to the JERVIN Eagle Viewpoints, a vlog site that is dedicated to everyone who wanted to learn, even the content producer, myself. This very moment, let us first start with a text from the Bible found in Colossians 4 verse 12, and it says, "Devote yourselves to prayer with an alert mind and a thankful heart." Beloved viewers, this is your content provider, Prospero Gonzaga Jr., known to my students as Sir Noy. Our issue of focus this very moment is close-eyed prayer, biblical or logical in meeting with our God. Again, our issue of focus this very moment is close-eyed prayer, biblical or logical in meeting with God. Some religions introduce the closing of eyes while prayer for reasons of concentration and focus to the subject of prayer, who is no other than God. Some religions also believe that the sincerity of prayer is not seen if the eyes is closed or not while praying. Thus, JERVIN Eagle Viewpoints provide an alternative way into understanding the role of the eyes while we are praying. After examining significant sources regarding the fact of closing one's eye while praying, it would be conclusive to say that the Bible is silent about that. What we commonly see is the kneeling of the lower extremities and bowing of the head. Thus, this brings us to a summative point that closing of the eyes is not a biblical requirement in offering a prayer or a communication to our God who is in heaven. However, when God gave man the freedom to do what he wants to do, in short, the freedom of choice, it also affects the way man prays. In the course of knowing the best way to pray, man's logic take a great part in making him effective and comfortable in his communication to his Father or to his God, and that is by praying with closed eyes. Let us uncover the logic of closing one's eyes in praying. At this very moment, try to experiment by praying at a living room with eyes wide open. You may try it now if you want. But naturally, we got distracted. When we diverted, and worse, when we get stimulated to do other things, then our prayer is already at the verge of losing its purpose. It is then logical to eliminate information entry into the system of man while praying, and that is to close the eyes, as focus and centeredness to God will be the optimum goal while we are praying. However, this method of praying becomes a human decision because we are pointing to the fact that the Bible is very silent about closing of the eyes while praying. Furthermore, isn't it that even we are closing our eyes already, we are still subject to temptation by thinking about other things while praying? Example, in church, when the invocation will commence, we all drop to our knees, ready to hear the pastor or the priest's prayer. Then, we closed our eyes. However, in the middle of the prayer, thoughts like, what will I cook when I come back from church? Do I have food in the refrigerator? Or I just remembered a financial debt that I have forgotten to pay yesterday. Or why is it that my sister, when he went home last night, she was frowning? Is there a fight between her love of her life? Isn't it, dear viewers, that even with a closed eye already, we are still experiencing things that bothers and distract us in prayer? So true, right? Thus, with the logic and decision capability of man entrusted by God, the idea of closing the eyes during prayer limits the amount of distractions and disturbances while we are focusing on communicating with our very dear God. Remember, while we are focusing on a great uninterrupted line with our Savior, the devil will always be very busy trying his best to distort, disrupt, and even destroy this line. That is why we minimize the visuals of seeing evil in prayer to have an uninterrupted connection with our Maker and Redeemer. So, the question that was asked earlier, close-eyed prayer, biblical or logical? Clearly, after our fruitful presentation and discussion, we can say that it may not be biblical as it was not stated or pointed out deliberately by God's holy book, the Bible. But the freedom of choice that God afforded to man made man think of a more effective, efficient, accurate, and precise way of focus to God while in prayer. And that is to logically close the eyes to minimize distractions from the enemy of faith, who is Satan. This has been Bros Gonzaga Jr., known to my students as Sir Noy. Until the next issue we will cover in JERVIN Eagle Viewpoints. And that's the way the eagle hooked the prey. God bless, dear viewers, and I hope to see you again soon.